So that process of socialization, where the Prophet then told us in the hadith, his parents will make him into a Jew, his parents will make him into a Christian, his parents will make him into a Magian.
Hello people, this is Socrates' son. In this video I will try to make some kind of yoga and manage to hear Mohammed Hijab talking without having a nervous breakdown. Okay. Objectivity for this guy is like saying the N word. Okay? Objectivity is the N word for this guy. Anyway, I don't know whether that was a good joke, but let's go.
That's primary socialization. But you can extend that. The society can make us into atheists. The society can make us into liberals. The society can make us into feminists. Not that feminism and liberalism is totally wrong, and we'll come to that on Thursday, okay? But it's a process of socialization. We have certain social attitudes and beliefs that had we been born and raised in a different time and a different place, surely we would not have those beliefs. So that process of socialization is what moves the human being away from believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the purity of his monotheism.
According to Mohammed Hijab, Islam is the only religion that doesn't do socialization. It comes naturally. Mohammed, as a rule of thumb, if you need to force people into submission, that means that it doesn't come naturally. Islam, as nature intended. But I must give you something, okay? You are an endless comedy, okay? As comedy, you are natural. But other than that, it's obvious that Islam doesn't come naturally to anyone. That's why you have all these oppressive rules to keep people in line. Secondly, although humans have a natural tendency to believe in gods due to evolution, they haven't got a tendency to believe in one god. In fact, polytheism precedes monotheism. So, Mohammed, Islam is the only religion that doesn't do socialization. That is your aperitif for today. Let's see how I can...
And recognizing that contract that you had initially with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, one thing I've been looking into and I found quite interesting, and I'm thinking that maybe you will find quite interesting as well, after I let you wait here in suspense. Yes, and this might seem like it's completely not related to what we're talking about today. Don't worry, it is. It's the idea of contract. I was recently having a discussion with some liberals about prostitution. What did you say? What are you talking about, man? We're talking about what you never knew about God. Why are you talking about prostitution?
Let me guess. The only religion that sanctions prostitution, it will be the only religion that doesn't do prostitution. Given the fact that you always say the opposite of truth, I predict this is what is going to happen right now.
Let me tell you why. They were basically asking me, why is prostitution wrong? And obviously from an Islamic perspective, we say it's haram because, you can't have sexual intercourse before marriage and so on.
Let's see what Allah says in the Quran. Forbidden to you are married women except what your right hand possesses. So, if you have slaves, you can have sex with them without marriage. This Allah has written for you, and all other women besides this are permitted to you, so that you may seek them out with your wealth, seeking chastity and not fornication. So when you have contracted temporary marriage, then give them their words. There is no sin on you for whatever you agree to after this. Indeed, Allah is knowing, wise. Yeah, very wise. So, Mohammed Hijab, prostitution is permitted. In fact, your God gives his divine blessings for prostitution. Okay, so Muslim, that is what your God says. Now if you want to have a new prophet, Mohammed Hijab, then what can I say?
Yes? Not smart, brother. You can't. But obviously, if you're speaking to someone who does not believe in your worldview, I have to explain it to them in their worldview, right? So I said, the reason why prostitution is wrong on liberalism is because and by the way, this is not why it's wrong in Islam. It's wrong in Islam because قال الله وقال الرسول, okay?
Yet in the Quran it says prostitution is prescribed. So unless you are the new prophet of Islam and you dismiss the Quran, what can I say?
But I was answering their question and I was thinking about it as I was saying it. On liberalism, the problem is a lot of it is based on consent and contract, yeah? So if let's say a client, and this is going to sound very crude, I do apologize. A client wants to use the services of a prostitute. And he pays the woman or the man, yes? Yeah, there are male prostitutes. And he pays the woman or he pays the man. Let's say for the sake of argument, how much is it usually for? This is a true question. This is a true question. If anyone answered that question, we would yes. Let's say it's £50. I don't know how much ringlets or whatever you have it. What do you have in this country? What's your currency here?
Ringgit.
Whatever it may be, right? Now, say for instance the woman agrees. And during the act, she says, no, stop. Like during the act, she says, stop. Now, there's a problem here. The problem is he paid that money. But at any point, based on the law and other reasons, human rights, she can say, don't touch me, please don't do this to me. And if he continues, it actually could be rape. She can accuse him of rape. I say that's actually not fair from a liberal perspective.
That's actually not fair on a liberal perspective. No, that's actually is the disproof of what you were saying about liberalism. Human rights trumps the contracts. Okay, Mohammed Hijab. Okay, you just proven all your theory wrong with this example.
Because the contract is broken. He's paid her money and she didn't deliver the service.
Yes, in liberal ideologies, human rights trumps social contracts. That's the difference. And that point exactly is where all your argument breaks down. Okay, Mohammed Hijab, next time, don't be a biased, blinked buffoon and make a whole argument on social contracts like this is the only thing that defines liberalism. Social contracts. No matter what is inside this contract, no matter anything else, no matter human rights, liberalism is social contracts. And then, oops, you admit that human rights trump social contracts in liberal societies. Thank you for your admission. Now you can go home. You made our balls basketball balls. 5 months, liberalism and social contract, and then you admitted you were wrong. Bravo.
But if she does deliver the service, it will hurt her. So you can never have a contract like that. It's avoidable, and it's not a regulatable thing. And the same thing could be said about surrogacy, by the way. Like IVF. If you say to someone, well, you can be the mother of my child, but you're the surrogate mother, yes? But that woman gives birth to the child. If they make a contract, I'm going to give you X amount of money for that child, but then the woman who gives birth to the child decides, I don't want to give this child away. This actually happened in America, and they ruled in favor of the surrogate mother. They said that she didn't have full information, and therefore she has a right to keep that child, even though the sperm was of another man and the egg was of another woman.
So again, you gave an example where social contracts are not valid in liberalism. I thought social contracts were the alpha and the omega. Isn't that what you were saying, Mohammed Hijab? 3 months now, you made our balls swollen. liberalism, social contract, and now you are giving example after example where you were wrong all along.
So it messes up the contract. Surrogacy, therefore, on liberalism, on contract theory, is problematic. And so is prostitution. It's just an argument, just in case anyone tries to, right? But the idea is this. Why am I talking about contract? And why have I made that diversion? The reason is this. There is something which unifies, yes, Western thought and Islamic thought, and it is the idea of contract. It is the idea of contract.
Mohammed Hijab, in the West, we also have laws, believe it or not. We are not anarchy. So you have also laws and we have also laws. We are the same. We are the same, you and I. We are like twin brothers. You have laws, we have laws. Does human rights trump your laws? As you gave the example previously? No.
The Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu awfu bil uqud. O you who believe, fulfill the contracts. And in liberal theory, one of the underpinning things is got to make sure that you fulfill the contract.
So let me get that straight. What happened? Okay, you open the Quran and you saw the word contract, and then you open a liberal book and you also saw the word contract. So contract equals contract. What's the difference? I see here. Let's count the words. The letters. Let's count the letters. Let's see. Contract. Contract. It's 8 letters. And contract. It's also 8 letters. Let's see. It starts with C in one case. And in the other case, it also starts with C. So, they are the same. No matter what the contract says. How stupid can you possibly be, my friend? I mean...
Because it's so obvious that chaos would ensue. Listen carefully. Chaos would ensue if contracts are not abided by. Imagine you have peace treaties between countries and they're revoked straight away because contracts are not respected. Contracts are important.
Mohammed Hijab, let me explain what is liberalism, because I think you don't understand what is liberalism. Liberalism is a society based on liberal contracts. I mean, you are an idiot.
On everyone's worldview, on our worldview and on their worldview. Why is that important? Because imagine, listen carefully, what is the consequence, according to them, of rupturing a contract?
It's not death for ideas, that's for sure. So what? God damn it, in order for somebody to make this kind of argument, it needs to be a complete buffoon. Okay? We know we have contracts, but what are those contracts is the issue?
Yeah, you can have anarchy, but usually the law has in place legal consequences, yes? If the law has in place legal consequences which can range from prison sentence to fining to death, in the case of treason, the idea that there should be a consequence attached to a severing of a contract is universally understood, almost. Except with anarchists and other people, right? But imagine this. Imagine we, as human beings, are severing a contract with the ultimate source of protection. Wait a minute. Say that one more time. I don't know how you made that diversion and you came back and what you're talking about. The ultimate source of protection, we believe, is Allah. He provides the ultimate source of protection. So, isn't it the same logic to suppose, to postulate, to submit, to say that if you break the contract that was initially in place, the mithaq, and that you agreed upon in the primordial state, If you sever that contract, there should be a consequence.
You made many presuppositions that you cannot support. First of all, your God exists. Second, he made a contract. Third, the contract is what Islam says. Fourth, even if God made an immoral contract, if we ought to fulfill it. 6, how you can force other people to apply to your contract based on your beliefs. 7, who voted your God? Who voted him? Did we agree in the contract? No. Did we sign anything? I don't see anything here. 8, virtues like freedom are higher than your God, your imaginary friend. Okay, you must prove that God is higher than virtues. Okay, until you do all this, in fact, do all that and then we can talk.
And it's within the rights of the source of protection to remove that protection from you.
On contrary, your God, Allah, only fucks human. We must protect ourselves from him. Everything we enjoy now as humans, we did that ourselves with enormous suffering for thousands of years. We were given nothing. Whoever doubts what I say, go naked to a forest for one day. And if you survive till the next, come here and tell me how much your God is helping humans. Haven't you seen survival? How could they? Please. But let's stay a little bit in this point, okay? Evolution predicts that life would be extremely harsh and cruel. Okay? Is life that way? Is exactly that. For every animal except humans, life is a horror movie. Okay? Humans is not now a horror movie after 200,000 years of humans' effort and technology. Islam claims that this life is a party. Oh, thank you, God, for making everything beautiful. Wow, everything very beautiful. If not for Western technology, okay, Mohammed, you would have been an endless Afghanistan without electricity. So who is describing the reality better, Islam or evolution? Please tell me.
That's why the question that's usually postulated in these discussions is, if God is so merciful, then why does hell exist? Why is he putting the people in the hellfire? What kind of merciful God is that? He's putting the people in the hellfire. What kind of justice is that? The hellfire is an ultimate manifestation of the removal of Allah's protection from humans.
What you said now fucked my brain. Okay, you raped my brain. What you said just now.
Say that one more time. The hellfire is an ultimate manifestation of the removal of Allah's protection from human beings.
Allah's protection from whom? From himself. He makes the threat and then he protects us. Or it's inevitable. The only way it can be is humans burning. This is the only reality possible. The only possible reality. I mean, how? I see your face now and I'm wondering how you ended so low. This is what Islam is doing to people. Total lobotomy. Total lobotomy. Okay, they surrender completely to this idea and then they just rape everything to hold on to this idea.
And since we agree on the premise that it's consequentially justifiable to say that protection should no longer be afforded to those who sever the contracts, then what more contract, more problematic to sever than the one who's providing for you in all aspects and domains and spheres of life?
Okay, let me explain what Mohammed Hijab is saying. Okay, his God is taking this and starts burning people. Imagine you will being burning by this. Okay, not for 3 minutes or 5 minutes, which is still insane, okay, monstrously terror movie thing, but not for 1 year, for 2 years, for 1,000 years. Okay? No, not for 100,000 years, but for eternity. And this mindless buffoon, okay, stands with a straight face in a university, okay, and says that this is just. Just. Why? Because people didn't believe in his God. Thought crime, okay? We are talking now about thought crimes. So 3/4 of humanity, no matter how good they are, okay? Maybe it's Mother Teresa, Gandhi, okay? Let's take Gandhi. He was a Hindu, okay? He deserved this. And moronic, mindless, submissive idiots like Mohammed Hijab deserves deflowering 72 virgins that every time Mohammed Hijab penetrates them, God comes and fixes their virginity so Mohammed can have more pleasure in every penetration for eternity. Just because he believes in Allah. And Mohammed Hijab will now attempt to prove that this is philosophically just, that this is morally correct with philosophy. He will attempt to prove that. Mohammed, what can I say, my friend? What can I say? Okay, I name this delirium. This is mind masturbation. And then you wonder why ISIS have no regard for suffering. And they burn people, they cut hands, feet, head. If morality is not related to suffering and it's related to whatever monstrously bullshit inside the Quran, then why not? This is not immoral. Why not? If morality is not related to suffering, then that's not immoral. If Allah burns people for eternity for the mere crime of disbelief for 5 seconds before you die, okay, then ISIS crucifying someone for waging war against Allah is the least thing they can do. So, Mohammed Hijab, you just made the philosophical case for ISIS. I can take your argument verbatim and I can use it to justify morally ISIS. So, what is ISIS? ISIS are innocent young people in Britain listening and believing the nonsense of these idiots. That's why people like Mohammed Hijab need to be humiliated and exposed. Because he provides the philosophical framework for groups like ISIS. Thank you. Let's continue.
The answer to that question is the people that don't understand the hellfire and the punishment therein are those same people that don't understand the severity of the contract that they have agreed to and that they were reminded of.
The contract that they have agreed to. First of all, who agreed this contract? Second, where is your God? I haven't seen him lately. Third, what contract? What contract? Your imaginary contract? In your dreams? What contract? What are you talking about, my friend? What the hell are you talking about? You see ghosts? Your contract? What are you talking about? Then what kind of severity are you talking about? What is the crime that deserves eternity burning. Disbelieve. That's the crime. We didn't lick the balls of your God every second. We didn't believe in your God with negative evidence. So, God damn it, really, I'm losing IQ points by hearing you.
In this world. So you see, it all makes sense now. But someone may argue and say, but hold on. No problem. I understand this concept. I understand, yes, that
the fair punishment for disbelief with negative evidence is burning for eternity. Yes, we all understood this concept. Please continue. You are not at all an insane person.
if you sever the contract, there should be consequences. Yeah? If you sever the contract, there should be consequences. From this perspective, God is within His rights
to burn you for eternity and put an iron chain in your anus. It's in His rights. What a breakdown, what a complete destruction of mental capacities, of intellectualism. Okay, Mohammed, Hijab, I started to see a philosophical video. I didn't want to see a porno movie. Okay, you raped reality, but give her a break, please. Please, I mean, okay, you raped her, but have some mercy.
to give you those consequences. So what then about proportionality? For instance, if someone was a kafir or disbeliever, someone who severed the contract, because what is a disbeliever? A disbeliever is someone, kafir literally means kafara, from the farmer. He's a farmer. Because he's literally covering the truth. Like the seed, you coat it with soil, and the truth, you're covering it with falsehood. And that is the ultimate manifestation of the severing of the contract.
Mohammed Hijab, if Islam is true, I am a black female stripper in Las Vegas. Islam is the most obvious falsehood. Oh, okay. I'm starting to, I don't know, maybe I will stop. This is unbearable.
But the question of proportionality will come into play, because they'll say, okay, if they were disbelievers for 3 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, then why should they be in the hellfire forever? And this is a lack of proportionality. Yes, this is a lack of proportionality. Well,
Okay, let me explain now how lack of proportionality is this. Even if somebody killed 100 little girls, okay, he doesn't deserve to be burned for 10 minutes. Burning is torture, an unbearable torture. This guy deserves to have like the legal section or something. Because we are humans. We are not animals like your gods. Not believing in your God is not just not a crime, it's the best thing you can do. Not believing to your evil, satanic, dictator, monster of a God, you should be given the Nobel Peace Prize. And you say, it's justice, disbelief, being burned for eternity. For eternity. And you think you are logical? You think you have any connection with philosophy and epistemology? Oh, let's see how can you justify this. I'm curious.
we say to that, who told you that time should all be treated equally and sins should be connected to time inextricably? Let me give you an example. And this brother of mine called Abdullah Andalusi, we were discussing this, he was giving me these pointers. It was a really good example he gave. I like to give him credit for that. He said, for example, if someone takes out a knife and he stabs someone goes straight for the jugular and kills the person in 3 seconds. Yes? If someone does that in 3 seconds, should they be punished for 3 seconds? On this logic, they should be. Why not?
God damn it, you are clowns. Okay? You are clowns. Okay? Why I get overexcited? Okay, sorry about that. I take it very seriously. I get overexcited. I don't know why. Imagine if I go to a mental institute and get pissed off with every crazy person inside there. And take everybody seriously. What did you say? Are you sure? The earth is flat. Are you sure? What are you talking about? What are you talking? That is me. You are simply insane. I'm taking seriously insane people. The duration is 3 seconds, but you killed that person. You killed him. You took in his life. I mean, you are thinking of this for 4 days now. I'm imagining. And you cannot figure this out. That yes, you stabbed him for 3 seconds, but you killed him.
3 seconds? You only were transgressing for 3 seconds. So go into prison for 3 seconds, or do this, go to the hellfire for 3 seconds. No. Clearly, there is a problem with equating time here. So the idea is shirk, or the association of partners with Allah, is valued so epistemically high in the ranking of crimes because it is the ultimate rupturing of the most important contract.
Morality is not related to contracts. Morality is related to suffering and well-being. Okay, let me explain now. Okay, first of all, just shut up. Shut up. Enough with the crazy people. Okay, let's bring some sanity. First of all, Allah, who punishes eternity for finite crimes, he is eternally moral with mathematical certainty. Let me explain how that works. Let's say he is the fair punishment for psi. Eternity is by definition eternal times more than he. Therefore, your God is eternally unfair, therefore eternally moral. That means he is eternally worse than Hitler. Okay, let's take that out of the way. Now let's prove that this idiot, Mohammed Hijab, doesn't believe in hell. He just doesn't have deep thought. He just doesn't understand the implications of what he's saying. Let's take Mohammed Hijab and put him in a chair near hell and see a fellow human being burned. For how long he will take it? Seeing somebody being burned. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. At the 4th hour he will say, "Stop it, God, I hate you." Stop doing that. What that means? That means that whoever is truly conscious of what God is doing in hell, by definition he denounces that God, simply by human nature. Watching somebody being burned is torture. So now the question is for how long you can handle torture. It's not for eternity, Mohammed Hijab. So I just proven without a shadow of a doubt that not even you believe in hell. You just don't have deep thought to really understand, to really feel what you are saying, to comprehend the implications of what you are saying. You have a low state of consciousness, in other words. Thirdly, punishment only makes sense if its goal is to reform or protect. Therefore, after-death punishment is inflicting pain for the sake of pain. We have a word for this. It's called sadism. Your God is an eternal sadist. This is your God. Now, you can take the contract of your God, make it in, how you say, tear it up, make it like in a pile, and put it in your God's drawer. I have a complete analysis how against hell in this video. Please see it. I destroy hell with 8 conclusive different ways. Let's continue.
That even doing it for 1 second, even believing in that and doing it for 1 second, it's conceivable for 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and you die upon it, and those are your last 5 seconds, that you will be in eternal punishment in the hellfire.
The only thing that saves you, and you are not a monster at this moment, is that you are incredibly stupid. Okay, that is the only thing that saves you, and you are not a monster right now. What you are saying is monstrously immoral. It's literally worse than the worst horror movie you have ever seen. Burning somebody for eternity is literally worse, not just worse, eternal times worse than the worst horror movie you have ever seen. Okay, and you say that's justified for 3 seconds before you die, that you say that you put partners with Allah, an imaginary thing with negative evidence. Allah, who is Allah? Allah, who the fuck is Allah? You mean the mythology in the Quran that Westerners didn't even know it existed before 9/11? That Allah? What the fuck are you talking about? You really think that all the Christians in history, everybody else except Muslim, are now burning for eternity? You really think that? And instead of hating this kind of monster of a God, you bow down and worship that God. And moreover, okay, and adding to that, you think you will now take the philosophical and moral high ground. You are that clever, eh? You will win also in this life. Mohammed Hijab, how about dance La Bamba? How about make funny faces to entertain us? How about that? Morality is related to our conscious state. A lion can never be moral. The same way, Mohammed Hijab is a good person. He is not a monster, although he says monstrous things. Why is that? Because he's simply an idiot. He's simply a buffoon.
And that is logically, rationally justifiable on both worldviews.
Both worldviews? What did you say? Both worldviews? How on earth this is justifiable in secular logic? How on earth this is justifiable? Morality is not related to contracts. It's related to suffering. Anyway, let's continue.
Because to understand Allah and Tawheed, we must understand shirk and how dark and horrible and evil and grotesque and disgusting this crime is.
Shirk means associating partners with Allah. Let me first make a crime. Okay, I associate my with your Allah, first of all. Let's take that out of the way. Secondly, now we all understand how we have Muslim. Okay, this was a mystery for me. Okay, I was thinking, how is it possible? Something so transparently wrong, that breaks every limit of being wrong, still convince people. And I was wondering, how is that possible? Let me tell you how that is possible. Indoctrinated people accept Islam is true from starters due to psychological hooks and social hooks. Okay, the initial reason they accept Islam is psychological and social. Okay, my mother was Muslim, brainwashing, in other words. And then they just change subjectivity. Morality is not related to suffering, it's related to whatever Allah says. Truth is not related to science, it's related to what Allah says. Mohammed Hijab is an intelligent guy, but no matter how intelligent and smart you are, if you, by necessity, need to accept everything in the Quran, all your reasoning will come out disrupted. Imagine me, okay? Imagine I needed necessarily to make Islam true. My rationality will be guided. It won't be free. I would have started saying the same bullshit like Mohammed Hijab. Because Mohammed Hijab, if necessarily he wants to make Islam true, this is the best he can do logically. Okay? The arguments of Mohammed Hijab are not bad in the framework that I necessarily need to make Islam true. In this framework, he's very logical. Okay? If I was in this framework, I will also make these arguments because those arguments is as far as you can go inside this framework. But that's not how effective reasoning works. In effective reasoning, you need to be as neutral as possible. Okay? You need to have everything open. You need to start from a neutral point, not starting Islam is true. Rather, start from a neutral point and follow the evidence. That is how effective reasoning works.
How dare someone redirect their veneration, their love, their awe, their hope, their fear from the one who's offering all sources of hope and all sources of protection from fear, who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Mohammed, just because your cult is a cult of Analyze Dunya, that's a very good very good channel, Analyze Dunya. Please subscribe and like. And patron me 20 euros. Where were we? Where were we really? I forgot. One moment please. Yes. Just because you are a cult of slaves or submissive robots, that doesn't mean that we all need to be like this. We can barely tolerate you talking. I mean, I see you and I feel, but I can, let's say, tolerate you. And something else, look what he said.
How dare someone redirect their veneration, their love.
How dare someone redirect their love? You will force people to love something. Even love, you will force them. Even love in Islam is something forced upon. You destroy moral philosophy in a perfect way. Your cult is unfreaking believable. Okay. The philosophical errors you are doing break every expectation, negative expectation. Okay. Every negative expectation. I mean, you are genius in getting everything wrong. Geniusly. And now I can understand my Christian friends thinking that you are from the devil. Okay. Nobody is that wrong.
This is the most problematic and egregious and the most vile of crimes any human being can do.
Why? Because your God suffers. It's how we call it? Thought crime. It's a thought crime, eh? So your God is like a 17-year-old girl, sweet 16s. He gets so offended that without giving any evidence, first of all, he chooses to be mysterious. But then he says, I want you to believe in me with absolute certainty, but at the same time, I want to be mysterious. So you need to believe me, but I need to be mysterious. But then I get so upset, so angry. Burning. Can we not go to burning immediately? Can we have some steps? He never presents himself. I need to understand without evidence that he is not so perfect and one. Therefore, he worships somebody else, not me. I need to be worshipped, nobody else. Only me, need to be worshipped. Your God is a worshipping junkie. Nothing to do with any character quality, good. Nothing to do with any virtue. It's the less virtuous thing possible. Okay? The grave of Socrates, his bones will shake at this moment of how you rape morality and virtues. Okay? You are the rape of Socrates. And I am his son, and I'll try to protect him. It's late and I'm starting to losing it. Anyway, let's continue because this video, it is the most annoying video I have ever seen in my life.
Worse than theft, worse than murder, worse than rape. There's nothing worse than that. Why is murder wrong? Because it's an ultimate violation of someone's right to life. Why is rape wrong? Because it's an ultimate violation of a man or a woman's right to dignity and to decision making in sexual intercourse.
So, rape and murder is wrong because you violate a contract? Is that what's happening? Now I understand. Finally, I understood your point. I see you try to avoid the word suffering. It's the ultimate violation to decision making. Popo.
So why is shirk wrong? Because it's an ultimate redirection. It's an ultimate redirection of all of the attitudes, the beliefs, and the actions that should be positioned to the one who allows them to be positioned to anything in the first place to other than him. It's the worst kind of oppression. Shirk is the worst kind of oppression.
In other words, the ego of God is more important than everything. Okay, love, all virtues. Love, morality, suffering, freedom. The ego of God is more important. So this world is a sick game of some deity. This is what you're saying. Literally, okay, straightforward. This world is some deity called Allah had reinsurance issues, and instead of deciding to go to a psychology, he decided to make a sick trick to put some, some ants in some irrelevant rock and to torture them. And without presenting himself, his ego is so huge that you didn't even know that I am perfect without me presenting myself. Do you dare do that? I will burn you for eternity. Nice worldview. Very virtuous. You are virtue. If someday you make a daughter, you should name her Virtue and make her birthday sweet 16s. But no, sorry. Don't do that because your God will get angry. Okay? No, sorry about that. Mohammed, forget this idea. Don't do your daughter sweet 16s because your God will get angry. Please. Popo, I just had a terrible thought. Please don't do that. Please. Your God will burn your daughter for eternity. He will be very upset. How dare you do your daughter's sweet 16? All you need to worship me. You need to worship only me. Me. In real philosophy, my Muslim friends, my victims of these evil people, to my Muslim friends, let me help you understand what's going on. What was the question? I forgot the question. One moment, please. About shirk. Every conscious being, from the time it becomes conscious, is free. It doesn't belong to anything or anyone. It doesn't belong to anyone. That's very simple logic. Let's say you make some small robots and somehow you make them conscious, being able to feel suffering. Can you now torture these robots because you made them? These robots doesn't have their own dreams, their own personality. It belongs to you. A God who thinks that doesn't deserve to be worshipped. First of all, worship is an immoral word. Nobody deserves to be worshipped. Healthy minds admire, respect. They do not worship. Slaves worship. Islam means surrender. Okay. It wants to make you slaves in the mind. But you are not slaves. You are free. Okay? Don't let these idiots enslave your mind. And because I remember somewhere we had something about hell, I know what I will put for the karaoke song. Thank you. Living is everything. Since you take it on a highway ride, I said nothing. Let me be. I can let it in my every stride. Don't feel nothing. Don't feel damn. Ain't nothing I'd rather do. In a reason, party time. My friends will be there too. Yeah, I'm on my highway to hell. 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 No stop sign, speeding limits. Nobody gonna go me down. I like to win it, gonna spin it. Nobody gonna mess me around. Hey, start on, paid my dues, paid in a rocking band. Hey, mama, look at me to the promised land. I'm on my highway to hell. 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 Come on, come on. Hey. Ow! Never gonna. I'm on my highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. I'm on my way to highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. I'm on the highway to hell. And I was there till I was young. God damn it, the message at the last moment.